The holidays can sure be a tricky time when you're on a diet that's different than everyone else. Whether it's because you're just avoiding gluten or on a more restricted diet like Paleo or AIP, if you're doing it for health reasons, like to uncover, get rid of, or avoid unpleasant symptoms, letting your restrictions go for a dinner or two really isn't the best idea. Sure, it can seem like letting go for a meal won't be that big of a deal, but just one instance of eating something your body doesn't really tolerate can set you back for weeks or even months. Is it really worth it to disregard all of that hard work that you've put in just to eat something for a few minutes? You may recall that I've said in the past that doing the point of a diet like AIP is not to do it perfectly, but to do it as a tool to heal. And I stand by that 100%. I don't think that you should intentionally eat a food that might make you sick just to eat it though. What I mean by that is that if you do cheat and eat something that's not compliant, that you should get right back to it and continue eating the healing, nutrient-dense foods of AIP and not just use that as an excuse to go back to eating whatever it is that you want to eat. So if you're trying to eat the best way for you, that will support your health and to help you feel and stay better throughout the holidays and beyond, what do you need to know before you partake in a holiday dinner? Here's what I've learned after navigating this while on AIP, Paleo, and gluten-free diets for over the last 10 years. I have made many mistakes and have gotten quite sick as a result. So I want you to avoid that. Number one, if you're going to go to dinner over someone else's house, call ahead and talk to the host or hostess. I highly recommend calling. I know, who does that these days, right? But do that rather than texting because some of the nuances can get lost without the context. If they already know your circumstances, texting might be fine. Explain that you are on a special diet and let them know that you don't want to impose and that you will bring your own food. It really depends on your relationship with that person and how much they know about your whole entire situation. But if you really feel strange about doing this, you can always blame your diet on trying to figure out whether or not you have food allergies. Or if you already know you can't tolerate something, you can say that as well. But people are really afraid and they also understand food allergies and they won't question it as much. If you're close and they're really supportive, they might offer to make accommodations for you and cook a recipe that you can eat, but just expect that you'll have to make your own. If they do offer to make something for you though, give them an easy and pretty universal dish, like mashed sweet potatoes, and tell them to follow the recipe exactly, with no extra ingredients. Now note that this doesn't necessarily apply if you're going to go to a non-dinner party sort of party where the food will be set out and you just kind of take it and eat it as you want. With those sorts of events, I think it's perfectly fine to bring your own food and you don't really need to let anyone know. Just bring your food and eat it. This advice is definitely more for a dinner party, like if you're going over to your Aunt Susan's house for Christmas dinner and you all sit down for a meal together. Number two, if you are making the dinner for others who aren't on a healing diet, make things that are naturally gluten-free, AIP, or Paleo, but don't make a big fuss out of it. I have found that people tend to automatically think AIP and Paleo food is inferior, even if it could be more delicious than an unnaturally sweet traditional dish. But you don't want to taint it ahead of time with this false opinion. So just make things and don't even mention that it's different in any way. Things like my slow cooker ham work well as gingerbread pears, and they're both Paleo and AIP friendly. And also, if you have my AIP holiday recipes book, the Rosemary beef roast is amazing. If you have guests who request that you make something because of some sentimental tie, which happens a lot around the holidays, see if it's at all possible to purchase it already made. If you do need to make it yourself, to lessen any risks of getting sick by making it, try to use disposable pans, wear a mask if working with a gluten-based flour that will fly around, and wash your hands really well, or even take a shower after making it. But whatever you do, don't make a fuss about it and make that person feel bad that you went out of your way. This is the holidays after all. You know, the holiday spirit of giving. Just grin and bear it. Number 3, unless someone outright asks you why you eat the way you do, don't bring it up. Lead by example, not by a dogmatic approach. People do not like it when you tell them what they are doing is wrong, or even the implication that they're doing something different or wrong, especially when they are in the midst of indulging themselves in rich, sugary holiday food. If someone does ask you, tell them why you are eating this way, not why they should be eating this way. But I suggest even when you say why you are doing it, do it from a personal health approach, not from a because X is bad for you. Even if you really want your mom to switch to a paleo diet because you know it would help with all of those symptoms that she keeps complaining about, being preachy about it is only going to turn her off. Again, like I said, lead by example. And number 4, avoid temptation by always having some sort of snack, dessert, or even meal with you at all times. Both ones that are ready to eat, like Chomps bars, plantain chips, some leftover cereal, etc. And if you are traveling, ones that can be a meal, like backpacking meals or Wild Zora instant soups can be handy as well. If you're going somewhere where you know there will be tempting desserts, make yourself a dessert and bring one with you. Eat Gangster has a lot of great options that you can make ahead and then freeze the rest for a later time if you don't want to eat all of them at the same time. Or there are also lots of wonderful recipes on the internet. Basically, the idea is never to be left hungry and always have something to eat. Because if you don't have anything to eat, you are more than likely going to want something that you shouldn't. Even if you aren't hungry, you might use up so much willpower trying to resist a favorite food that you will give in anyway. But if you have something to gnaw on, things get exponentially easier to stay on track. You may not wind up eating whatever it is that you have, but it's so much better to have something when you walk into your cousin's house and see a buffet of delicious looking appetizers staring at you in the face rather than to not. So trust me on this one. And number 5, often social occasions center around alcohol and peer pressure is real. It doesn't seem to matter what age you are, your friends and family will wonder why you aren't drinking and they will try to get you to partake as well. The easiest way to navigate this and to avoid any comments is to always have a drink in your hand or in front of you. Now, this can be a mocktail, some kombucha, sparkling water, juice, or like anything else that you can sip on. Or it can be an actual alcoholic drink that you don't drink. Having an alcoholic drink definitely can be tricky with temptation if you like to have that drink. But people never really seem to notice or care that that drink isn't actually being drunk. They just want to know that you have something with you. Isn't this a sad commentary on our mature adult society? So, for example, you're sitting at a table and someone hands you a glass of wine. Put the wine down in front of you and then just leave it there. If someone comments that you're nursing it, just laugh it off and say you'll get to it or that you just don't feel like having it right now. Now, this is all for larger parties where people don't know that you're on a special diet or something. If it's just you and a friend or two having dinner, they'll usually understand that you're not drinking. And you can just say that. But for a party or larger gathering, it's just best to bring a drink so that you can have something with you. And I will say, there have been times I've gone to parties with my favorite mocktail, which is a blood orange mocktail. And I've put it into like a glass ball jar with a sprig of rosemary and a slice of orange. And everyone asks me where I got it. And they also want to know if they can have one too. So it doesn't always mean that you're going to have something inferior to everyone else. Now, I could go on and on about tips to make your holidays while on a special diet more enjoyable. But hopefully these will get you started. If you are interested, however, in learning more, I recently recorded a masterclass that will be available to purchase for a short time. In this class, I go even further into how to avoid temptation over the holidays, what to do if you accidentally or intentionally eat some foods that aren't compliant with your style of eating, the secrets to stress-free travel while on a restricted diet, tips on eating out, even in a foreign country, and effective stress management strategies to keep your nervous system regulated throughout the holiday season. That last one is extremely important though, because stress can easily undo a lot of your dietary efforts if you don't watch it. This masterclass also comes with the AIP Holiday Recipes book as a bonus, as well as a short but extremely effective guided meditation that will help to calm down your nervous system whenever you really need it and feel like you need a break. You can grab the recording of this masterclass and the bonus goodies at thrivingonpaleo.com/holiday class. I truly hope these tips will help you be able to relax and enjoy the holiday festivities without worrying so much about food. It really can be done and not be a big deal. Now, if you're wondering what to eat over the holidays, check out this video where I show you an entire delicious holiday feast that is paleo and AIP compliant and that can be made ahead of time and simply reheated. These dishes would be great to take to someone else's house or serve to guests, and all you need to do on the day of is to reheat them, which means you can actually spend some quality time with your guests instead of slaving away in the kitchen. I'll see you next time.